Have you ever sent a text, spoken a phrase, or whispered something sweet, and felt that instant shift in how he looked at you? Here's the truth most people won't tell you. It's not about how beautiful you look, how much you do for him, or how available you are. It's about what you say and how you say it that can leave a man thinking about you long after you've left the room. In fact, science shows that certain words create emotional imprints in the brain. Small sparks that replay in his mind over and over. They tap into his curiosity, his desire, his longing. And when you know how to use them, you're no longer chasing his attention, because now he's chasing the memory of you. In this video, you're going to learn something powerful. The 3 simple words that, when spoken at the right moment, can make him stop in his tracks. Words that stay with him all day, echoing in the back of his mind, no matter what he's doing. These aren't magic spells. They're grounded in emotional psychology, and they work because they touch parts of him that want to feel connected, wanted, and seen. So before you say another word to him, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll have a secret weapon, words that make him think about you, crave you, and feel pulled toward you in ways he can't explain, but can't ignore. Let's begin. Let's talk about something that most people miss when it comes to building deep attraction: emotional triggers. You see, attraction isn't just about looks, status, or even how much effort you put into a relationship. At its core, true connection happens in the emotional space. And the words you choose, especially the right words, have the power to trigger emotions that make a man think about you long after you're gone. What is an emotional trigger? It's a specific word, phrase, or moment that stirs up a feeling inside him, whether it's curiosity, desire, protectiveness, or warmth. It's like planting a seed in his mind that keeps growing every time he remembers what you said. And the most fascinating part, when you know how to use emotional triggers, you don't have to chase him, convince him, or prove your worth. Your words do that for you, silently, powerfully, and consistently. Think about this. When a man feels emotionally triggered in a positive way, his brain releases chemicals like dopamine, the same chemical that creates feelings of pleasure and reward. That's why certain words spoken with genuine energy and intention can make you unforgettable to him. You're not just another person in his day. You become a source of emotional impact. The key is to use words that make him feel seen, valued, and understood. This isn't about manipulation. It's about creating authentic moments where he feels good when he's around you, or even when he's just thinking about you. For example, phrases that spark admiration for who he is, or that ignite his protective side, stay with him. Why? Because deep down, every man wants to feel like he matters. And when you're the one who gives him that feeling, you're the one he keeps coming back to in his mind. Emotional triggers also work because they bypass logic. You could be the most reasonable, kind, or supportive woman, but if you're not touching him emotionally, he won't feel that magnetic pull toward you. Your words are the bridge between his heart and his mind. When you say the right things, you awaken something inside him that he may not even understand, but he knows he wants more of it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use emotional triggers the right way. Words that feel natural, authentic, and powerful. No scripts that feel fake, just simple language that lights him up inside and makes him think about you in those quiet moments when he's alone, when he's working, or when he's lying in bed at night. Because once you unlock the secret power of emotional triggers, you'll never have to wonder if you're on his mind. You'll know you are. So what are these 3 simple words that can make a man think about you long after the moment has passed? Before I reveal them, I want you to understand something important. It's not just about the words themselves. It's about the emotion they carry, the tone you use, and the moment you choose to say them. When you combine these elements, those 3 words become unforgettable. They become a melody that plays on repeat in his mind, creating warmth, desire, and connection every time he recalls them. The first magic word is I appreciate. Notice how different this is from just saying thank you. When you say I appreciate, it goes deeper. It tells him that you see what he's doing, that you value his effort, his thoughtfulness, or even just his presence. A man craves to feel useful, respected, and seen by the woman he admires. Saying I appreciate triggers his desire to do more for you, because it feels good to be appreciated. And the beautiful part? He'll replay those words in his mind, reminding himself how good it feels to be around you. The second magic word is you inspire. When was the last time someone told him he inspired them? These words speak directly to a man's soul. They awaken his drive to be better, to protect, to provide, to lead. By saying you inspire, you're not just complimenting him, you're lifting him up. You're telling him that who he is, what he does, or how he lives matters. This simple phrase gives him purpose, and you become the woman who helps him see his own greatness. And believe me, that is unforgettable. The third magic word is I feel. It might surprise you that something so simple can have such a lasting effect. But here's the secret. When you say I feel, you're letting him into your emotional world. You're creating intimacy, trust, and connection. You're showing him that you're not afraid to be vulnerable with him, and that makes him feel safe to open up too. Whether you're sharing that you feel happy, peaceful, excited, or cherished in his presence, those words create emotional memory. And emotional memories, those are the ones that stay. When you use these phrases, I appreciate, you inspire, and I feel, you're not just filling the silence. You're giving him an experience. You're planting seeds that will bloom in his heart and mind long after the conversation is over. And the best part? These words don't feel forced. They're authentic, powerful, and real. Use them thoughtfully, and you'll become the woman he can't stop thinking about. Not because of what you look like, but because of how you make him feel. Now that you know the 3 magic phrases, I appreciate, you inspire, and I feel, let's unlock the real secret: timing and delivery. Because saying these words at the right moment, with the right energy, turns them from ordinary phrases into unforgettable emotional triggers that stay on his mind all day. First, let's talk about when. The best time to use these words is when he least expects them, not when he's fishing for a compliment or doing something obvious. Instead, say them during those small, quiet moments that seem ordinary. Maybe he opens a door for you, shares an idea, fixes something, or tells you a story about his day. In these moments, a simple "I appreciate that you always look out for me" lands straight in his heart. Because it's sincere, it's not transactional or obligatory, it's a gift of acknowledgement, and that's what makes it powerful. Another perfect time, when he's doubting himself or facing challenges. Imagine how it feels for him to hear, "You inspire me with how you handle things" during a stressful time. Those words become his fuel. They replay in his head, reminding him that he's strong in your eyes, and that makes him want to rise to meet that image again and again. Now let's talk about how to say them. The magic isn't just in the words, it's in the delivery. Slow down. Look him in the eye. Let your tone match your emotion. Don't rush it, and don't say it in passing while distracted. Let the words land. Even in a text message, take a breath before you type. Make sure it's intentional, not filler. Use these words sparingly. That's how they stay special. You don't want them to lose their power by overuse. Think of them like rare perfume, just enough to leave a lasting impression without overwhelming the senses. And don't just say them, feel them. If you're telling him, "I feel safe when I'm with you," let that softness show in your voice, in your eyes, in your energy. That's what stays with him. Here's one more key. Follow these words with presence, not expectation. When you say "you inspire me," don't wait for him to react a certain way. Let him feel the gift of your words without pressure. That's what makes him replay them in his mind later, when he's driving, when he's working, when he's lying awake at night. When you master the when and how, these simple phrases become emotional anchors. They create moments that he treasures, moments that stand out in a world full of noise. And you become the woman he associates with those powerful feelings, the one who stays on his mind long after the words are spoken. If you truly want to understand how to stay on a man's mind, you have to look beneath the surface, into the psychology that drives male desire. Because desire isn't just about physical attraction. It's about how you make him feel. And when you understand what sparks that feeling, you can create moments he can't stop thinking about. At the core of male desire is a need to win, to protect, and to feel purposeful. It's part of his wiring, shaped by biology and centuries of human evolution. A man is drawn to a woman who triggers these instincts, not by playing games, but by making him feel like he has a meaningful role in her world. This is why words like "I appreciate" or "you inspire" work so well. They speak to his desire to matter. You see, when a man feels needed in a healthy, non-needy way, when he feels that he adds value to your life, his desire deepens. He starts to associate you with a sense of accomplishment, pride, and fulfillment. And that's what keeps him emotionally invested. It's not the grand gestures that win his heart. It's the small moments where he feels seen, respected, and admired by you. Another powerful aspect of male desire is his craving for emotional safety. Yes, men want this too, even if they don't always admit it. When you're the woman who makes him feel safe to be himself, safe to open up, safe to be vulnerable without judgment, you become unforgettable. Your words, especially when they reveal your genuine feelings or your admiration, create that safety. And once he feels it with you, he won't easily forget it. There's also something called the dopamine loop. When you say something that makes him feel good about himself, his brain releases dopamine, the pleasure chemical. The more he experiences that with you, the more his brain links you to that feeling of happiness and satisfaction. So without even realizing it, he starts craving your presence, your words, your energy. He wants to be near you because you light up the part of his brain that feels reward. But here's the subtle truth. Male desire isn't just about how you make him feel about you. It's how you make him feel about himself when he's with you. When your words and actions build him up, reflect his best self back to him, and make him feel like the man he wants to be, that's when desire becomes lasting. That's when he thinks about you not just in moments of passion, but in quiet moments, in busy moments, in every moment. So when you understand the psychology behind male desire, you stop guessing what works, and you start creating genuine, irresistible connections that keep you on his mind, day and night. Now that you know the magic phrases that can stay on his mind, there's something just as important, knowing how not to use them. Because even the most powerful words lose their magic when they're used the wrong way. In fact, certain mistakes can make these words feel forced, manipulative, or meaningless. And that's the last thing you want. Let's break down these common pitfalls so you can avoid them and keep your connection genuine. The first mistake is overusing the words. Imagine hearing, "I appreciate you," or "you inspire me," several times a day in every conversation. Instead of making him feel special, it can start to sound robotic or insincere. The power of these words lies in their intentionality. They should feel like a gift, not just something you say out of habit or to fill silence. When these words are rare and meaningful, they have lasting impact. The second mistake is saying them without meaning it. Men can sense when you're not being genuine. If you say, "You inspire me," but your tone is flat, distracted, or forced, it loses all power. Words alone don't trigger emotion. The energy behind them does. Before you say these phrases, pause and check in with yourself. Make sure you truly feel what you're expressing. When your words come from the heart, he'll feel it, and it will stay with him. Another common mistake is using these words at the wrong moments. Timing is everything. If he's upset, stressed, or distracted, dropping a phrase like "I appreciate" might not land the way you want. He may not be in the emotional space to receive it. Instead, choose moments when he's open, relaxed, or present. That's when these words can sink in deeply and create that lasting emotional imprint. The fourth mistake is using these words as a tool for validation or to get a specific reaction. If you're saying, "I feel safe with you," because you want him to say something sweet back, he'll pick up on that. It can make him feel pressured or like you're fishing for compliments. The magic happens when these words are offered freely, with no strings attached. That's what makes him remember them. That's what makes them feel like a gift, rather than a transaction. Lastly, don't use these phrases to cover up deeper issues. Saying the right words won't fix a relationship that lacks trust, respect, or honesty. These phrases are powerful, but they're not meant to mask problems. They're meant to enhance an already genuine connection. So be mindful. Use them to build, not to band-aid. When you avoid these common mistakes, your words become truly powerful. They'll linger in his mind, not because you forced them to, but because they touched something real inside him. And that's how you stay unforgettable. Let's bring these phrases into your everyday life, so they stop being just words and start becoming part of the connection you built. Picture this. You're out together, maybe at a cafe or walking through a park, and he instinctively opens a door for you or guides you through a crowd with a gentle touch. Instead of just smiling or giving a quick thanks, pause, make eye contact, and softly say, "I appreciate how you always look out for me." That small moment lands deeper than you might realize. You're not just acknowledging the action, you're acknowledging the man, and that sticks with him. He'll find himself remembering the way you made him feel appreciated in such a simple, sincere way. Another powerful moment to use these phrases is when he opens up about something personal, maybe a dream he's working toward, or a challenge that's been weighing on him. While he's sharing, listen fully, then say, "You inspire me with how dedicated you are." These words don't just compliment him, they reflect his strength and determination back to him, helping him see himself through your eyes, stronger, braver, more capable. Long after that conversation ends, those words echo in his mind, especially during moments when he needs that reminder most. Think about the quiet, intimate moments too. You're sitting together, maybe watching a movie, sharing a meal, or simply enjoying the silence. This is where the phrase, "I feel so peaceful when I'm with you," works its magic. There's no pressure, no expectation, just pure, honest emotion. And because you've connected that feeling of peace to him, it becomes part of how he sees his role in your life. When he's away from you, he'll think about that and about how good it feels to make you feel safe and content. Sometimes he'll do something small that he didn't have to do. Maybe he fixed something that was broken, helped you solve a problem, or stood by you when you were stressed. This is your chance to say, I appreciate that you're always there for me. These words tell him that you don't take him for granted, that his presence, his effort, and his support matter to you deep. And that feeling of being seen, of being valued, lingers with him, drawing him even closer to you. Then there are those vulnerable moments when he's had a rough day, when things aren't going his way, or when he's questioning himself. This is where a quiet, heartfelt, "You inspire me, because you never give up," can change everything. You're not trying to fix his problems. You're simply reminding him that you see the fighter in him, the man who keeps going even when it's hard. Those are the words he'll remember at 2 a.m. when he can't sleep. The words that fuel him to keep pushing forward. And never underestimate the power of surprise. A random text in the middle of the day that says, "I feel so lucky to have you in my life," or "Appreciate you today just because," can light up his whole world. It's unexpected. It's real. And it creates a memory that pops into his head when he's at work, at the gym, or lying awake at night. These moments don't have to be big or dramatic. The small, thoughtful uses of these words are what truly stay with him, creating a connection that grows deeper with every passing day. At this point, you understand the power of words, timing, and emotional triggers. But if you want to stay on his mind forever, not just for a moment, not just for a day, but truly become unforgettable, it takes more than saying the right things. It's about how you make him feel every time he thinks of you. The secret is to weave these words into a larger energy, one that surrounds your presence and lingers long after you're gone. First, always remember this. People remember experiences, not just words. The most lasting impressions aren't built from clever lines or rehearsed phrases. They're created in those moments when he feels truly seen, valued, and safe with you. That means when you say something like, "I appreciate you," or "You inspire me," it can't just be something you say in passing. Let it come from a place of real emotion. Let him feel it in your tone, your eyes, your energy. That sincerity is what makes those words stick in his heart and in his memory. Staying on his mind also comes down to emotional consistency. Be the person who brings him peace in a world full of chaos. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or suppress your feeling. It means you create a space where he feels good, where he can breathe, where he doesn't feel judged or pressured. When he connects your presence to calm, warmth, and light, he naturally finds his thoughts drifting back to you, because you represent something rare. That emotional safety becomes addictive. He won't just think of you during the good times. He'll crave your presence when life feels heavy, when he's searching for comfort, when he wants to feel whole. It's also important to understand the power of mystery. Yes, say the right word. Yes, share your heart. But don't give everything away all at once. Leave space for him to be curious about you, to wonder what's on your mind, to feel that pull to know more. When you're always available, always explaining, always filling the silence, you remove the tension that makes attraction grow. But when you balance openness with mystery, when you show him parts of your heart while leaving some for him to earn, that's when you stay on his mind in the best way. You become the woman who intrigues him, who he wants to understand, who he keeps thinking about because there's always something more to discover. Another way to stay unforgettable is to anchor your words to moments. When you say, "I feel so peaceful with you," let it happen during a quiet night walk, or when you're sitting together watching the stars. When you say, "You inspire me," let it follow something meaningful. Maybe when he shares a dream, or after he handles a tough situation with strength. Words tied to meaningful moments become emotional memories. And emotional memories are what his mind replays when he's alone, when he's thinking about who matters most. And don't forget to create space. Let him miss you. Let him have time to reflect on the impact you've made, on how your words made him feel, on how your presence shifted his energy. Constant attention can feel good in the short term, but in the long run, space builds desire. When you give him the room to long for your presence, your words, your warmth, he'll find himself thinking of you more deeply, more often, and with greater appreciation. Finally, the most powerful way to stay on his mind forever is to be real. Let go of any script that doesn't feel true to who you are. Speak from your heart. Appreciate him genuinely. Be inspired by him honestly. Share your feelings when they're real. The words, the phrases, the tips, they all mean nothing if they're empty. But when they come from a place of truth, they become magic, because real connection, built on authenticity and emotional safety, is what leaves a lasting imprint on someone's soul. When you combine your words, your presence, your energy, and your sincerity, you don't just visit his mind, you stay there. And that is how you become the woman who lingers in his thoughts, his heart, and his memories, no matter how much time passes or where life takes him.